Hey, Smirkers, Smirkettes, Smirkites. Whew, what do we call you? Smirksters? I like Smirksters. I don't care if Aaron and Amanda agree. Look, this episode was actually recorded and logged a few weeks ago. In fact, it was recorded the day before Stanley died. The reason this is important is because the story, spoilers, is going to have to do with Stanley and the time I met him. And look, Stanley meant a lot to everybody. He was everybody's grandpa. He gave us all our stories, and I know I would not be who I am today without Peter Parker and Mary Jane. So it sucked that he died, but I think you'll find the episode is still great. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, we do nothing but bangers here, but I just wanted to give a little warning and kind of place it in time. Thanks for listening to Smirk as always. You guys are great, and I'm sure I will say some things that most human beings would regret in this episode, but you know me. I stick to my guns. Enjoy the episode.
Welcome to the show that looks at truth, fiction, and reality with a smirk. I'm Aaron Peterson.
I'm Amanda Sink.
And I'm Zach Parkerson.
And welcome to Smirk. Each week, one of our hosts introduces an original story, which we then use as a springboard for spirited discussion, whatever the moral or theme of their story was. This week, it's Zach's turn. Somebody's going to die.
They're not dead yet, but their days are numbered.
Are they dismembered?
Whoa.
What?
That's just sad, Amanda.
Did somebody lose a pinky is all I'm asking.
Well, he's going to tell it.
Nobody's lost anything.
He hasn't even told the story yet.
So somebody might lose a pinky.
I hope so.
Soon.
That'd be cool. Pinky loss is
My
always
story
important.
is about a little boy named Jason who went to camp.
Kill.
Didn't work out for him.
Oh.
The story is truth.
All right. Well, are you ready to tell your story? I'm ready to get into this. You know, somebody told me that if you don't get into the story within 2 minutes, people turn the podcast off. And I say they're insane.
Yeah, that doesn't sound realistic.
Yeah.
If that were the case, then podcasts like My Favorite Murder could not top the charts.
Oh, I just listened to that podcast recently.
Why are we advocating other podcasts?
They had
we barely get people listening to this one.
They have a very long intro. I'm not even kidding you. I skipped like halfway through the episode just so I could start hearing the story. And then I was
How long does it go before they start?
Seriously, it was like half an episode. And I was like, I can't do this.
How long is the episode? I don't know how long the episodes are.
I don't know. It was like maybe like an hour and a half or something.
And it was a half hour before it starts?
No joke. It was long. I don't know if I picked like the wrong episode to listen in on.
You can go to a lot of popular podcasts and there's a bunch of banter at the top.
Yeah.
The idea that you have to get in there in 2 minutes is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, that's just something
very much.
People who are professional podcasters always say.
Yeah. Does their name rhyme with Smoy?
No. Well, I mean, yes, that's one of them, but definitely I don't mean just Smoy.
Shout out to Smoy.
I hope Smoy is listening.
I doubt it because are we coming up on 2 minutes yet? I don't know.
He's cut us off. He listens in like 3 times speed anyway.
That's true. All right, Zach, it's your story. Let's roll.
Yeah. You'll remember last week I gave Amanda crap saying she didn't care about the show because she had just finished it at 15 minutes before we recorded. It's my turn because I finished this at about 2 a.m. last night.
Drinking whiskey?
Gargling whiskey. Thank you.
Oh, good.
It's how you get your voice right.
That's how you do it. I like that.
That's how Johnny Cash got ready for every performance. He would just gargle whiskey.
I think that's how he died, too.
You have a very Bradley
yes.
Cooper, A Star is Born feel to your voice today.
Oh,
wow.
boy.
I don't understand the reference, but I will respond to it. Thank you.
Maybe it's not a compliment.
Is it ever not a compliment to be compared to Bradley Cooper?
Oh, that's true.
How is that?
Never mind. I take it back.
You're like, man, you're like a raccoon, just like Bradley Cooper.
What?
Man, that was such a reach. That was such a reach. It's like your arm.
That's the only thing I could think of that would be somewhat negative about Bradley Cooper.
And that's not negative. I'd still think that's an awesome compliment.
Seriously.
Rocket is amazing.
I love trash pandas.
All right. Get into your story because we're going to lose Smoy.
Nothing wrong. 6 minute minimum before we get to the story. All right. This is exceptionally short, by the way. This is my preface. Gather around the campfire. It's time for a story. We stood in line for literal hours. At the end of it, a lifelong dream would be fulfilled. It all came together out of the blue, but I was definitely excited. Heck, I didn't even have to pay for it myself. My new buddy Vegas took care of that. But we only met earlier that day. It was because of him I was going to meet Stan Lee. So we waited and waited and waited yet more. But then finally, it was our turn. As security quickly, forcefully, and rather rudely forced our bags off of us, we were shown through the curtain, and there he was sitting in the chair before us. It would be a lie to say that he looked anything other than ragged and tired. His age was showing, but it made us no less thrilled to see the legend. We exchanged the briefest of greetings, took our photo op, and were escorted out. That was it. 3 hours of waiting for 30 seconds of being face-to-face with Stan the Man. Though being disappointed at the time, I do look back fondly now. I could scratch something off my bucket list. Excelsior. That's it. That's super short.
That is super short.
That is super short.
That's like how I monologue when I have a response to something.
It's not my fault that she has a 300-word response to everything.
It's not my fault either.
No, it is.
It is not.
It's not ours.
It's not yours either. It's just how I was made.
I don't think that's how it works.
DNA works this way, okay? It's part of genetics.
DNA does not work that at all.
Okay. Ooh, let's have a nature versus nurture debate.
Stan Lee, huh? That feels like a true story. So, all right. Interesting.
Might be. Who knows? It's inspired by somebody else here in this very podcast. Just so you know.
So it's a real story? Are you telling us the answer already?
I don't know. You're going to find out. Anyway, what's the moral of the story?
Sometimes the wait's not worth it. Or sometimes the wait is worth it.
Ooh.
Sometimes the wait is worth
sexual
it.
Either way.
Yeah, no. I'm going with that. Sometimes the wait is worth it.
I don't know. It didn't sound worth it to me, but if it were Nathan Fillion, I'd probably feel like it was worth it. So this is such a short story to have a moral for.
Yeah, no, I really just wanted to arrive at a talking point.
Okay.
It's more like an essay prompt on the SAT or something.
Oh, I like it. I don't understand.
Yeah, now I sound smart.
Maybe I should just go with the opposite. Sometimes the wait isn't worth it.
Wow. You know what? It's more vague than that, guys. Moral, meeting our heroes could be many things.
What?
That's not, no.
I think you just made that up.
Oh.
Right now, you made it up.
Thank you very much. I made that up right now. This has all been made up on the spot, actually.
So what's the topic you want to talk about? What do you want to springboard from that?
Well, this is inspired by
what was that?
What?
I felt like you were about to launch into a song.
Well, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody is the talk of the town right now, so I've been doing my best impression.
Gotcha.
It's inspired by Aaron Peterson meeting Bruce Campbell about 9 times.
Oh. Yeah.
Which made me curious about why do we get so thrilled to meet these personalities even for such short times?
And pay a lot of money for it.
Right, because you wait in line for hours, you pay a bunch of money, and you meet somebody for 30 seconds.
I think a lot of times it has to do with how much of an impression that person has made on you. Even if you don't know them, I think the idea is that you get an opportunity to at least say hi and come face to face with something that may have changed your life or just made that impression on you in some respect. There are plenty of movies or bands or something that had a really moving and emotional impact on me. And a lot of people often have those sorts of attributions for even like saving their life. So I think it can be important to people just to be able to have that moment that I finally got to see this person who either saved me or helped me along in a difficult time or just seemed to be much better than the type of people I'm always around.
Well, first I want to clarify. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to know your clarification. How many times have you really seen Bruce Campbell?
So, yeah, let me clarify this first off. I have seen him lots of times. That's true. But I've never paid an abundant amount of money for it to see anyone. I just don't pay for that sort of thing. I bought his book and then saw him there. I've also watched movies with him and I've gone to his panels and that sort of thing. But I've never paid.
Define with him.
Well, the movie.
Like you guys were holding hands.
Yeah, we hung out when we saw. What was Bubba Hotep? When I saw Bubba Hotep, he was in the audience and he sat like the row next to me, so he was right there. Me and my brother and my buddy Scott were there. It was cool.
Oh, you were the 4 guys who saw Bubba Hotep.
Yes, we were all of them. Agreed. And the book signing was everybody got to sit down and, take a picture with them as long as you bought the book. That's all it was. That was the cost. You didn't pay anything extra. I don't believe in personally paying a lot of money to meet and greet. I just can't understand $200 to, that's where I'm kind of on that. Nah, it's too much. They're not, But to answer Zach's question, impact. If they've impacted my life in some way, that's when I want to meet them, or at least just say thank you. Bruce Campbell's impacted my life in a lot of ways, and especially as a film fan, and how he's always been relatable to fans, where he was doing that long before anybody else really was mastering that aspect of it. He's been doing it for a very long time. So that's why he's made an impact to me in that respect. I'm not a big celebrity guy. I don't really care much about celebrities. There are very, very few, and they're very specific, and he just happens to be one of them. So it's impact. He impacted my life.
You have a podcast called The Hollywood Outsider.
What's that?
You have a podcast called The Hollywood Outsider. Don't you care about celebrities on some level?
I care about the work. I care about the completed work. I love film and television. I don't care about celebrity at all. I just never have.
I do.
Except Bradley Cooper, obviously.
Bradley Cooper's somebody, I mean, he's made somewhat of an impact. Not a great impact, but he's a guy that seems relatable and reasonable and open to fans. I would actually, I wouldn't wait in like a 3-hour line to meet him, but I'd wait in a small line.
A 5-minute line.
Like a grocery line. If he was like the one, he's the cashier.
He was the cashier, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm interested in this.
I'm like, what's up, Brad?
That would be interesting.
I guess Stars Born didn't work out as well as you thought it did. That's what happens when A-Team doesn't go to franchise.
Oh man, the movies are awesome. Mm-hmm. Amanda, you chimed in. You do care, huh?
I care about the ones that I have a correlation to. Like, it's not every celebrity that I'm willing to spend money and meet, for sure. There are plenty of them that I would not do that at all for. But if like Chris Hardwick, I paid for 2 nights of shows to go see him because he was somebody that impacted my life. And I drove.
Did you used to date him?
Wow. No.
Too soon?
I would date him.
It would have impacted your face.
Not a terrible thing to have.
Oh, that went wrong.
Whoa.
You guys prompted
that
it.
backfired. Let's go.
Amanda likes to get beat on. All right. Moving on.
I would take it if it was Chris Hardwick.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. So there was a time when I was going to give up on podcasting completely because I couldn't handle any of the scrutiny. It really got under my feelings, and I was very early on. And listening to Chris Hardwick on his podcast, which was The Nerdist at the time and is now ID10T or non-existent, not really sure. And he made me want to continue doing it. He didn't like do anything in particular that prompted me to say, you know what, you've inspired me to keep going in life. But it was a moment where I was like, this isn't something that I want to give up on. This guy has gone through a lot worse things in his life, just being a celebrity, and that's never stopped him from wanting to pursue things that he really enjoys doing. So then I was like, why should I let anything stop me? People don't like my voice, then I guess they're going to turn off. That's fine. That's your choice. And so that was somebody that I was like, this is worth me spending 2 nights to laugh and enjoy a fun evening with this guy right in front of my face. And it wasn't anything where I paid for meet and greet. It was just tickets to his comedy show, but I paid the extra for the VIP. Went through a lot of work to get 2 nights of VIP. It was worth it for me.
What do you mean extra work?
That's what I'm curious about, right?
So they didn't have...
All right.
Did
you have to let them impact your face?
They were all sold out of VIP tickets, but I was determined to get VIP. So I paid for a regular ticket, and I kept calling. I called the first day to ask them if they had any more, and they said, no, but if you we'll put you on the list. They were like, but you can call us and check in with us. So every day I checked in, and eventually they were like, yeah, we got you. Here's a ticket.
That doesn't feel like work. That feels like you picked up the phone and made a call.
I had to keep making calls. It wasn't like one day that I was like, hey, how about that ticket?
You made it sound like you were just waiting outside. You're sweeping streets. You're picking up garbage. You're doing something. You're getting some work in for this VIP.
You're getting bills passed in the state legislature in order to get extra tickets.
There was no manual labor involved. But
Well, you picked up the phone.
I did. And I drove an hour and a half each way to get up there for 2 nights. And it was worth it. First night was more worth it than the second one because I was closer the first night. And I got to talk to him.
See, that's the
What did you say?
I made an insurance joke.
Sweet.
Well, it wasn't even a joke. It was somebody like, and I can't even remember what the other conversation piece was, but the moment where I was like, I probably shouldn't have gotten really excited about insurance. But that was our That was our engaging moment, was about insurance. And he was like,
This sounds
I've
so
never...
sad. This sounds
so much
sad.
funnier in person. Oh, this sounds so depressing, though.
It really does. Yeah.
But
hey, if it worked for you, if it
there
was
were
a
a couple
moment for
moments,
you,
yeah.
then that's what matters.
And also Ravenclaw. There was a short conversation about Ravenclaw. That's what the other one was. Because he's a fellow Ravenclaw as well.
I don't know. Is that the
Harry
Harry Potter thing?
Don't act like you don't know, Aaron.
I don't know what that means that he is a Ravenclaw. I mean, it's not a real school, is it? Hogwarts?
I'm trying to rack my head around how they got to the conversation naturally.
Well, it was part of the, like, he was doing onstage comedy, and I was sitting at the table literally right in front
and he
of
just
him.
pointed at you and goes, Ravenclaw.
No.
You? Yeah, me too.
No, I yelled out Ravenclaw because he said something about Harry Potter.
Oh, so he realized you were crazy and just didn't want you stalking him. He's like, oh, yeah, me too.
No, he's talking about
Sit down
it.
and shh, crazy
But
lady.
to answer your question, Aaron, you can actually, through the...
Did I ask a question?
No, but you prompted something. You can go to the Pottermore website and you'll do a full test and you get...
I just don't care.
You get put into one
You're
of the
still telling
houses. Well, what if somebody listening cares?
Can I
and
just
they
stay
didn't
in
know?
my own house? I don't really want to join the fictional magic house.
You can stay at your own house and still get part of the house.
I
and
don't
get...
understand where this is going.
Sounds like somebody's in Slytherin. That's what I'm hearing.
Sounds like somebody's obsessed.
What's wrong with that?
Hey, man, I took the test.
Which one are you?
What are you?
I was a Gryffindor.
No, you weren't.
Wait, well, he does like to feel like
That's-
he's courageous.
Oh, so it's made up feelings?
I took the quiz honestly. All right. My Patronus was a Thestral.
Really?
All right. Jeez.
Oh my god, this is just all
Yeah,
kinds
it's one of the
nerd
rarest
speak.
ones. What's up?
It's
Anyway.
very surprising.
Anyway, welcome to the Harry Potter cast.
What about you, Zach? You wrote the story. Do you feel like it's worth it to pay to meet your idols like that?
No, I've never paid. Let's see. I met Stan Lee. The story is true.
Okay. Jumping ahead.
because I met somebody about an hour and a half earlier who we hit it off really well, and he's like, "Hey, like I got a photo op, and I don't even want to take with me." I was like, "Let's do it." I met Jason Momoa because I accidentally stood in the line when my friend paid for the photo.
Mm.
Is he as cool as he
And
seems?
then
And is he as hot as
Is
he
he what?
seems?
Is he as cool as he seems?
And as hot.
he is as hot, Amanda, to
Thank
answer
you.
your question. He's a very attractive man. There's no question. No, actually, he might be one of the. He's annoying to a personality like mine. He was very energetic, hopping around, very excited to meet everyone. And I was like, man, if I hung out with this guy for 45 seconds, I'd probably have to leave the room.
So I would still
He's-
like him. That's what we're hearing.
Yeah, it is. It is possible if you have a personality that you could get along with them. But for me, I was just like, I don't have time for this.
You're like, look, Aquaman, settle down, or I will.
Yeah, this was
Throw a
like
hairdryer on
3
you.
weeks after he was announced as Aquaman. So maybe he was still riding that high.
Probably.
And then Justice League happened, and now he just shows up and goes, "Yeah, I'll sign your stupid Aquaman stuff."
Man, I really hope that movie's good.
Did his hair smell good?
He
No,
just writes my man on everything.
Did his beard smell good?
Hair. Like, did his hair
Did
smell
his
good?
hair smell good?
Mhm.
Stop being weird.
I'm not being weird. I'm curious.
He's so much taller than me that I could not have sniffed his hair.
He climbs the ladder just to say hi.
He put his arm around me for the photo, and it felt like I was his arm rest.
It's so funny.
So low.
That's nice. That's cool.
I always wonder if guys who have long hair, if they like actually take care of it or if they just leave it dirty for multiple days. So I'm curious, like, if it smells good or if he stinks. Like, there's some certain guys, like, no offense.
So weird.
No offense, Norman Reedus. I love you so much, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't wash his hair every day for The Walking Dead
I think they probably make it look greasy.
by not washing it. Probably. Also,
Well, now you're making assumptions on
I
poor
am.
Norman. He's like, you know what? I bathe every day, wench.
yeah, now I feel bad.
Wench?
Yeah, he throws wench in there because he should. After accusing him of being a dirty bastard,
Clayne Crawford, though.
he probably doesn't shave. He doesn't bathe every day. No, he's old Texan. You know.
We just
There are
offended
10
all of
people
Texas.
listening who know who Clayne Crawford is.
Yeah. What else you got, Zach?
Oh, anyway, by the way, I don't think it's worth it.
Oh, you don't think
That's
it's
where
worth it?
That's where I was.
Why don't you think?
No,
it's worth
not for money. I think it's not worth it because you're not really meeting them. So to me, the idea of paying money, waiting in line, and then interacting with somebody for 15 seconds, even if they did help shape my life, it doesn't feel like I've met them.
it? Agreed. That's a big reason why I don't pay for that kind of stuff. Every celebrity I've ever met not ever. Most celebrities I've met have been usually at events or something like that, or like a book signing or something along those lines, or a panel. It's never been something where you paid for it. Because you're right. It's only a matter of seconds, and they can't really talk to you. I mean, I admire them for taking the time out and spending it, because I'm sure that's got to be just exhausting for them to spend all day shaking hands and, having sloppy Cheeto hands all over you and hugging up on you but it's making those people's day for whatever reason. So
I think bands are a little bit better about meet and greets, because all of the bands I've ever met have taken, like, we've had full conversations where we're just hanging out, like waiting for it to start.
Well, I think most every celebrity has adopted it. I mean, really, especially the last few years. I mean, when you get Ben Affleck and big names that are actually doing these meet and greets, they care about fans more. They realize that interaction is more important than it used to be.
I think that band members they have the feeling where they obviously care just like movie celebrities do, but they take the time to, or maybe have more time to actually spend quality time with you for, like 5 minutes or something, where you're actually having a full conversation with them.
You consider 5 minutes quality time?
In regards to like comparing to Comic-Con or something?
Single, that would have been great to know.
No, when you're talking about a meet and greet for a celebrity, usually
your wife only knows you 5 minutes at a time.
There's usually about 30 seconds, and then you have to move to the next person. And it's just kind of like a, hey, how are you? Okay, next person. You might be able to say thank you. Whereas when I've met bands, they have all taken plenty of time to hang out and talk to us and like get to know each other a little bit better, make some jokes with each other, things like that.
I just find it all to be an assembly line, honestly,
for
the most part. So
I like when you at cons and stuff, comic book writers and voice actors will usually just have booths where you can go and have them sign stuff. I find that those situations usually allow for actual conversations that are cool. Those are usually free. I don't know.
I'm okay with all of it. I mean, really, but for me personally, I'm just not going to pay for anything. I don't care about a photo op. I just don't need a picture. I'm just more of, hey, I appreciate your work. And then if there's a room for discussion, that's cool. But I don't want to have one of those just, okay, I'm going to pretend to be really happy for this picture. And then you can show all your friends about, look at this amazing picture. Yeah, but it's not genuine to me. To me personally, none of that is genuine. So I don't really cling to it a whole lot.
That's fair. I didn't go to it, but one of my favorite bands, Bayside, they had done a coffee thing where if you bought, and they were super cheap tickets, but they would have breakfast with you, and like they would just drink coffee.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Which is a really, really interesting idea. And then I think they did a set for it too. So they played music and like an acoustic set, which was a very neat idea.
I like to see Stan Lee do that. Coffee with Stan.
Stan the man.
Well, anyway, I feel like we really covered my second question, which was just going to be, who have you met? And was it what you were hoping it to be?
Yeah, you kind of did cover it.
We seem to have covered that ground.
I can't remember one that I met where it was really meaningful at something like that. That's the thing. It never feels really genuine because you know that they're just doing it for publicity. And that's fine. I mean, that's what their gig is. But I just don't take it as something special to me. I know a lot of people do, though. And I'm not saying anything to them. It's just for me personally.
I would say the most intimate one I've had is with Bayside, when we all went into the venue a little bit early for the VIP part. And it was just like we're just all hanging out. And when it was your turn, it was really weird because it wasn't an assembly line. Like everybody was just in there. And then when you were up, then people would move aside and you'd have your poster. And they seriously just sat down and talked with you. And then you would hang out there, talk a little bit more. Then you would take a picture. Then you'd talk a little bit more. And then, after that, people would kind of just mingle. And then the next group would go. And so it felt like it was just a bunch of people hanging out. And you really got an opportunity to talk to these guys, and they didn't just stand in a line or anything. They actually went, it's really hard to explain, but it just felt like you were with a bunch of friends. Mm-hmm. And so that was probably the most intimate one I've had.
I got one. I do have one. I forgot about this. Howie Mandel did a comedy show in town and I was there, and he had like this bit where he wanted to order a pizza from a local pizza place. So he ordered a pizza and said, okay, everybody meet me over there. And we all went over there, and Howie Mandel, sure enough, was there and just hanging out. He wouldn't shake people's hands because he's a germaphobe or whatever, but he actually did show up and ordered pizza for everybody. And
that's super cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Does he eat pizza with a fork and a knife then?
I don't remember. I wasn't really checking out how he ate it. It was just more of being there.
You said he was a germaphobe.
Yeah, he was, but
Like other people's germs. I'm sure he's fine with pizza germs.
I would eat with a fork and knife, so I don't disrespect him for it. I think he's doing it the right way if he does.
Agreed.
I would disrespect him and you.
What's wrong with eating pizza with a fork and knife? You're keeping it clean.
It's preposterous. It's like eating a hamburger with a fork and knife.
It's proper etiquette. I'm just saying.
I've cut my hamburger in half and then eaten it. Also, I don't want that to get stuck, like cheese to be in my teeth or anything like that, and then have to worry, do I have anything in my teeth? That's such a fear for me. Is like,
this feels
that's what your teeth are for.
This feels so off topic.
But you're biting into it with the front of your teeth, and now you're risking looking like a fool later on.
This is Howie Mandel's fault.
Are you saying you can't eat a piece of pizza with a fork and knife? You're wrong if you do so? Because I'm sorry, I disagree with that statement.
I'm willing to stake the claim. Yeah, not that like, oh, everyone has a different way of doing things. I'm willing to say that you're wrong for eting pizza with a fork and knife.
Well, you're wrong for calling us wrong. Hard.
Maybe you're savage is what I'm thinking. You homeless savage.
Well, you know what? I think this world needs a little more savagery, all right?
Just picking up a piece of pizza and eating it like a freaking caveman.
Yeah. You know what? You drop that on the floor, cheese side down, and you still eat it anyway.
What?
You're a savage.
I can't.
You are disgusting. Yeah. Your mouth has so many problems.
This conversation is done. I can't even. I can't.
He just basic white girled us. He's done. Do you want your pumpkin spice latte now?
Where are we at with this damn topic?
Do you think this is a healthy relationship we have with complete strangers?
No.
Okay, great. Well, as long as we're all on board.
I don't disrespect anyone who does it in any way, shape, or form, and I mean that 100%. But I do not think it's healthy. I think it has led to where we are currently in the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's a problem. I think
our obsession with celebrity overall is a problem.
Yeah, and I think the worst part of it is that we are so obsessed with there's so many people who are obsessed with being able to say, I met this person, that they don't leave them alone when they're out eating a dinner or something. Yeah. They'll interrupt them and try to get a photo, or, hey man, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you. Can I get a picture with you?
You guys know the actor Johnny Galecki?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From Big Bang Theory?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? He interrupted my dinner. All right. So the tables are turned.
Wait, what?
Can you?
Did he think you were Sheldon?
Some years ago, I went out with a bunch of GameStop managers to do a food challenge at this bar, and Johnny Galecki was there. This dude kept staring at me, just watching me eat this massive burger that I was eating for this food challenge. He just kept staring at me, and I wave at him, and he would just nod, and he would just keep staring at me, try to do this challenge. It was very distracting.
I feel like you put yourself in that position when you elected to do a challenge, though.
Did you take your pants off? Is that why he was staring?
There's a whole table of people doing a food challenge. Art. I wasn't the only one. He just kept staring me down.
Did he come over?
Cute.
No, he waved as he passed by. He had already head nodded and stuff, but he waved as he passed by to go outside and smoke. But that's about it.
He wanted some of that Zaction. That's what he wanted. Some Zac action. Yeah.
You guys tell me, I could have slept with somebody famous?
Yeah, I think so.
You should have taken your opportunity.
You could have found out what the Big Bang Theory was.
Not a theory anymore, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just proving this theory to be fact.
There will be a Big Bang. See, you should have just taken it. Gone outside. You should have done the head nod that alerts them to meet you outside. Come over here. Mm. Yeah, that's what you should have done. And then stared with him as you finished that burger.
So he should have pretended to be gay? That feels offensive.
I mean, I feel like he might have been in that moment for him.
You know what? Sometimes you got to dabble on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
All right. Well, we already know if it's truth or not. So what's the title of your story?
Hold on. I had a bonus question.
Quick. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Bonus question.
Sorry. Okay.
We're so lucky.
Yeah. A little off topic. But writing the story made me think of this. Have you guys ever met a complete stranger and within hours had this, I guess, super, a really good connection, I guess? Because in the story, which was truth, by the way, in case you forgot, this guy Vegas, I met him in 90 minutes before this. And we just hit it off so much that he invited me to go meet Stan Lee with him.
Do you still talk to him?
Free of charge. Yeah, we still chat every now and again.
Okay, that's pretty
We're PlayStation friends.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, once I met this guy, Scott Noblet. Nice guy, very nice guy. Met him, I was on vacation with my kids, and he was there with his daughters, and we just met in passing, and we got along great. And we ended up exchanging numbers and chatting and everything else and doing what guys do.
What do guys do?
I don't know, but
this is the $1 million question.
We ended up galeckiing it. No, we just.
I like that.
We just became friends, and when I traveled to Dallas a couple times, would meet up with him and say hi and stuff. We lost touch, but yeah, we hit it off at that point. It was kind of a cool meeting of friends.
And so they have to be a total stranger. So like knowing somebody like through the podcast world and having the communication with them and then meeting them wouldn't count, right?
That
kind of defeats it. Okay.
Yeah,
that feels somewhat common.
I would say then the only other example I have is an ex who I'm still friends with. And it was through a podcasting event, but we connected and became really good friends right from the first night that we met and had a conversation the whole night. And we still chat and keep up, check in on each other and stuff like that. This is awkward.
Why?
I don't know. It was dead silence.
I'm trying to figure out if you hook up with this person.
Well, we dated for a while. Oh, no. We dated later on, but we started off our friendship like from that moment. We were really good friends from then on.
So what's the title of your story?
Cult of Personality.
Oh, wow. You're just pulling on all the Aaron strings here.
I'm the cult of personality.
I was thinking of Aaron when I was writing this.
Obviously.
Because Aaron's underselling. He's got framed photos of Bruce Campbell in his house.
I do. I'm a huge Bruce Campbell fan. He's impacted my life. And he's always been very nice. And you know what? He's also kind of an ass to fans, and I respect that.
That's awesome, actually.
Why? What has he done that's impacted you so much? Like how?
It's how...
Evil Dead, right?
Well, yeah, Evil Dead #1.
But I mean, how?
It's really how he's the first celebrity I saw that interacted with fans as people. Whereas every other celebrity is just so, to me, this is my personal opinion, often feels fake. And at the time, it's changed a lot now. Now you have more relatable celebrities and whatnot. But they were so often, they would just be on their high horse and they were untouchable. And you could never really... He was the first one that I remember making a conscious choice to meet fans, to do things that fans could be part of. He was really inviting fans into his world. And that was an impactful thing for me because I was so, at the point he entered my life, just so disenfranchised with the whole celebrity thing. I just couldn't stand how celebrities were because they were so full of themselves. And I live by the mantra, I don't care what your title is. I don't care about your station in life. We're all the same. We're all even. You're not better than me. You just have more money. You're not better than me. You just have a different title, da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. And he seemed like a guy who respected that. He always played to that angle. You'd see him at these conventions, and when people would ask him adoring questions, he would knock them down and bring them back to reality. Like, hey, I'm not that special. Simmer down. And he would also, he's very sarcastic. I'm very sarcastic. I respect that. There's a lot of things that go into why I
Would you
admire
say he's the celebrity you admire the most? Because you seem to have a lot of adoration for him.
Probably. Because honestly, he is the actor who, by all accounts of Hollywood, should have been gone years ago. Like his star should have been over in 1987, roughly. But he is still around. He's still relevant. He's found a way to survive in a Hollywood that doesn't really appreciate people like him. He's a B-movie actor, and he embraced it. He owned it. He never shied away from it. And he made a career off it. I admire the hell out of it because he's just, man. He's the cockroach of B-movies, and I respect him.
That's so sweet.
That is sweet. Very endearing.
I have moments.
Amanda, who's yours? Chris Hardwick?
Like my top-notch celebrity? Like the one I admire the most?
Well, now I'm curious.
Nathan Fillion.
Solid.
I think that he seems like he's one of the sweetest and most genuine human beings out there. I don't think he...
Unless you worked on Castle.
Oh, shush. I think he...
Was he a jerk on Castle?
Him and Stanya Katic or whatever, apparently they fought a lot.
But that doesn't mean it was like all him or that he was rude or
Doesn't mean it wasn't.
Oh, boy.
Are you going to blame the woman, really?
He just seems like he's the type of person that you can respect. He doesn't take into that celebrity fame. Like Nathan Fillion isn't the most, he's not on every top-notch Hollywood movie, but he does have that fame and people recognize him and he doesn't take advantage of that. He always seems to respect the work that he's done and admire the people that he's worked with. and always shown respect from what I've seen. He's very talented, but he doesn't let that overcome him and take control of him. And he just seems to be like a good person.
Sounds very nice.
Yep. He's very cute. Very handsome man.
Well, that helps.
All right. Well, as our show goes, we will occasionally pick listener stories to read from and discuss on Smirk. If you'd like the chance to have yours read, email to mystory@smirkpodcast.com. Please leave us a review wherever you listen to us. That would be greatly appreciated. Join the conversation by joining our Facebook group. Follow us on Twitter @SmirkPodcast, and be sure to use the show's hashtag Smirk. Be sure to subscribe to Smirk on your podcast app of choice as well.
As you write your own life story, always remember to tell it with a smirk.
Can I just tell you that before you said that, you took the deepest breath I've ever heard a human being take. It was like a dragon's breath. You were just getting ready to unleash the fire.
I haven't done a lot of moving yet, so I don't know if my lungs are active. For the record, I think the Wachowskis are probably the only, but they're probably the people I want to eat the most.
Oh, we didn't even say what. Oh, man.
We didn't even ask you what you wanted.
I feel so bad.
Did you say Wachowskis? Too bad. We don't care anymore. We've moved on.
That's right. Well, you know what? Turns out nobody else cares either because they had that close-up shot. So.
Wow.